Hey y'all, welcome to Mississippi Girl Life. I'm just a country Mississippi girl married to a New York City boy and a mom of three living in North Carolina.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Mississippi Girl Life. So listen y'all, this is going to be part 4 of my little budget friendly shopping list for preparedness. Okay, so today we're going to be going over tools and repair, safety and documents. Okay, we're going to go over those things. So I have broke this stuff down into a series. After we end this series, I have one more short, which will be for part 5. It will be a shorter video to go with this series, and then I will combine everything up. I may be able to go ahead. No, I'll do it later. I'll combine all 5 videos up, and that way it'll be in a playlist for y'all. But listen, it's to keep you from being overwhelmed. Okay. Look back at the previous videos. You have part 1, then you'll have a couple videos, then you'll have part 2, then you have a couple videos, then you have part 3, and so on and so forth. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Tools and repair, safety and documents. So under tools and repair, the first thing is multi-tools. There's a lot of different gadgets that you can get that has multi-tools on one. I have a couple of them here. But also, they are very small, little things. You want to make sure you have a good toolbox, okay? It ain't got to be nothing lavish, but a good one, okay? Something that ain't going to pop and break on you, okay? So make sure you have a good toolbox, all right? Little toolbox. Go to Harbor Freight, probably going to be your cheapest, because Tractor Supply and things like that kind of be a little bit more expensive. So next, a knife. Y'all know I love me a good old knife. I showed y'all my little engraved knife so much that Rhonda had got me some years ago. It say USMC wife and has my name on it. Got some little ridges on it. It's about 5 inches long. Love that knife, okay? But make sure y'all have a knife, because and I'm going to say scissors too. Knife and scissors, okay? Make sure you keep them away from pets. Well, kids and pets. And if you're feeling some type of way, don't have now, you will fall on it, and that will be bad, okay? So make sure you do the proper, handle them properly. Handle those things properly. Even tools, handle it properly. Next, we need, so like I say, for the knife, you might have to cut some. The scissors also, to be easier, depending on what it is. Next, we got adjustable wrench screwdriver set. To me, that goes right in hand with the tools, okay? So make sure that you have those. And different things, different locations on things, you will need adjustable wrenches and stuff. So make sure you have that. Next is zip ties, various sizes. I love my zip ties. Y'all know I use my zip ties out in Amazing Grace Garden to trellis plants and things up. I use them for my tarps, for my chickens and quails and stuff. Homestead, every homestead, okay, every prepper needs zip ties. I buy zip ties. It's like I'm addicted to zip ties. I've been telling y'all that. I love zip ties. You can even use zip ties for things around in the house. Decorations and stuff that you can kind of hide them, but they will hold very well, okay? And they can be inexpensive if you go to the right place. Again, Harbor Freight, places like that. If you get them from the Dollar Tree, depending on what you're using the Dollar Tree ones for, you can get by with that. But remember, you get what you pay for. So I would say Harbor Freight to get a good quality. Next, super glue. You get what you pay for. Get some good super glue. Gorilla glue. Okay, Gorilla super glue. And I think you may be able to get that brand from the Dollar Tree. You may have to glue something. Okay, you want some good strong hold. Sewing kit, buttons, needle, and thread. You may have to sew some clothes for somebody to keep them warm. Okay. It gets really, really bad because this should be in your first aid kit. I have a first aid kit where this comes in, where it's more surgical needles and stuff. But if it gets really, really bad, you never know. To save somebody's life and that's all you got, and you don't have the surgical stuff, like the surgical needle and thread and stuff that comes in some of the first aid kit, you may have to use that needle and thread to sew somebody up or something. You just never know. Hope it never gets to that. Hope you have the surgical stuff in a first aid kit. But the sewing kit, and I'm not telling nobody to use that to sew nobody up. That is not the proper way. We're talking about if there is no other way possible, and that's what you have to do. But it's really for, making clothes and stuff. You can sew buttons on and make little cuts and do that. I know how to sew. I used to sew all the time. So, if you don't know how to sew, trust me, you will figure it out in an emergency situation. It's not hard. But make sure you have sewing kit, buttons, needles, and thread. Okay. Next thing is small roll of plastic sheeting. Oh my goodness. Home Depot I think is like the best place that have the plastic sheeting. I think it's 7 mil will probably be the reasonable price, but you can go up to 9 mil heavy duty. That may be your shelter. That may have to be part of your shelter, along with tarps and stuff. So you want to make sure you get a nice, good plastic and have it on hand. And having a roll of that will go a long way. Depending on if they have it on sale or whatnot, you may be able to find it, for a decent price. If you can't do nothing but afford 3 mil, then get 3 mil. But I prefer, it don't say on here, 7, 9, and up at least. Okay, far as the thickness of the plastic. All right, so next we got safety and documents. Okay, fire extinguisher. Okay, you can also get them where it's just can, like the regular can. I have both of the fire extinguishers. That's probably the more portable one. It's a canister. Okay, rather than that big one, you gotta do all that. But you can get those too as a decent price now. With inflation and all that stuff going on, prices may be a little higher, but you do need that. I mean, something can happen and to catch things from sparks from power lines and stuff, and catch things on fire. You got to keep it from your house and all that. You need fire extinguishers, okay? Smoke, CO detectors, and batteries. Yes, smoke alarm and carbon monoxide detectors. Okay. I think I mentioned that in one of the part ones, and earlier in the series in another one. And it was just me thinking off the top of my head. But yeah, when we was talking about the tea light candles and stuff and the little canisters, I think that was part 1. But batteries for those detectors, you want to make sure you're keeping everything safe, especially if you're using buddy heaters and things like that has those propane tanks and butane tanks and the little food warmer things that you light and put it under the pan. You want to have carbon monoxide detectors, and you want to have smoke alarms. Okay, and they need to be up and running at all times. Copies of IDs, insurance card, and waterproof pouch. So important. You don't want that stuff to get wet. Okay, make copies of it. I do laminate my copies. You're not supposed to laminate your originals, but I have laminated some copies, and I have a laminator at home. But you can go to Sam's Club, Staples, and places like that, and get copies of laminated. If you want to do it at home, in case you have more stuff that you might want to do, a laminators is not that expensive, and the little sheets you need is not that expensive. I've had mine for years, okay? And I think I got it from Staples. So that's up to you if you want to do it in the comfort of your own home. But don't do your original cards. You go to use that stuff and it's laminated, they ain't gonna take it. You need to make copies, and you can laminate it, or you can put it on a pouch and just seal the pouch. Anything that's waterproof, whatever you want to do. You can do it so many different ways, okay? It just say on here, your copy of IDs, insurance card. Also do your birth certificates, do your marriage certificates, and all that type of stuff, okay? Do those too. Make copies, laminate it, or either make copies and put it on a waterproof pouch. And you can also seal the pouch if it's one of them that you can, do that for. All right, y'all. So let's see. Cash and small bills. Exactly. You need to have cash on hand. If the grid go down, the power is down. If the grid go down, the power is down. Hold on. Okay, if the grid go down, the power is down. All right. So people ain't gonna, they gonna be able to use those machines, those registers and stuff like that. You're going to have to pay in cash, small bills, because they may not have no way to break. If everybody got big bills, ain't nobody gonna get no change. So you want to have cash on hand in small bills, okay? Small bills. Local map or paper. You need to know and have a map of your location and other locations so you know how to travel, okay? Maps is going to have landmarks and things like that. Check with your state extensions that's next to wherever you live. Some co-ops, some places have co-ops, and they may have free maps and things like that of your area. I would say get a map of your area and get a map of your whole state. And if you can, get a couple of maps of the surrounding states, because you may have to leave and trek. And if the grid is down, a lot of things, satellite and stuff, is not going to work. So you need to make sure you have these maps and things, even for different states, okay? And it don't say that on here. I'm just giving you a little bit of my thought process too when I'm explaining these things. On here, it just lists it, so I have to explain it to y'all so you'll know how far out I be thinking, okay? So that is the end of the tools and repairs, safety, and documents, okay? So this has been part 4. I hope that this has been helpful and gave somebody some ideas and made you think of something that you may not have thought of, okay? So keep these things in mind. Make sure y'all go over to MGL's Home and Garden. That's where my garden stuff be, my home life, my preserving food and all that type of stuff, cooking. I moved it over there so we can focus now on prepping. You do have gardening videos, and you have these same, well, similar videos, my tea light counter videos, so many prepping videos here on Mississippi Girl Life. And I just felt like it would be better after all the tries, just giving it a little bit of break, because it got couponing over here, everything, and just separating some things, okay? So over here we're doing the prepping and what's going on, and my you are getting some hauls over here, prepping hauls and things like that. So trying to get you ready for whatever it is to come, okay? Things, it gets quiet and then it's just like, wow, don't be caught off guard. Prepping is something that you continue to do, and not prepping, that's a 50-50 chance that something can go wrong and you don't have what you need, or could not go wrong and you have what you need. Stay ready so you ain't got to get ready. Y'all know that's been one of my favorite little sayings. You don't want your stomach licking your back. Okay? So prep that food and stuff. I'm teaching you and showing you how to grow. You have a lot of gardening videos over here. And also, you'll see me in action over there for this year, okay? Well, you know, because I have gardening and stuff from last year. But I have a little gardening and stuff over from the beginning of this year. Excuse me. Which is 2026. Before I, you know, made the change for the other channel, okay? So with that all being said, I hope y'all enjoyed this. I hope it was motivational and inspirational and informative, okay? With that being said, I will see you in the next one if it's Jehovah's will. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you be notified each and every time that I upload a video. Y'all stay vigilant and y'all stay safe. Love y'all. Until next time. Bye.